Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Dr. Garima Rai, working as Assistant Professor HIMS Varanasi, and I will be presenting on how to prepare a scientific presentation. Most of the points have already been covered very beautifully by Prasad sir. I'll be just reinforcing the points. I'll be covering the topic under Introduction, Key Points of a Presentation, how to structure your presentation, then practical tips about slide making, and then conclusion. It is very important that you start your presentation with the introduction. This builds up a context to what you will be presenting. Your introduction should depend upon the type of audience you will be presenting to, whether you are presenting to general public or to specialists. Depending upon that, you should structure your introduction. Now, during your introduction, you should always build up a home slide. What's a home slide? This should denote the importance, what important point you are going to tell in your presentation, or if you are describing some procedure, how to do about it. Like for my presentation, my home slide would be, what are the do's and don'ts of a PowerPoint presentation? Okay, this home slide in your presentation will help you in making transition from one to another category. Now, after giving your introduction, you should always list out the key points of your presentation. This gives out the broad range of topic under which you'll be giving your presentation. This highlights the next topic you'll be presenting to, and this gives a clarity to the audience as to where you are in your presentation. Always number your slides. You may also include the total number of slides with that. Then how to structure your presentation. You should start your presentation by giving general topics, then get to more specific and detailed topics, and then at the end you should point out general details. This is how you should structure your presentation. Giving general details, then going to all specific details, and then you should conclude at a broader end. But remember that this presentation is being given to an audience which has a limited attention span. And this is the meat of the talk, and this is also the time when the audience tends to zone out. So this is where your home slide comes in use. Every time you introduce your home slide to make transition from one topic to another and holds on to the attention of the audience. Then some practical tips for slide making. What font to use? Use sans serif fonts. These fonts are Arial, Comic Sans or Trebuchet. Avoid using serif fonts because they have a typed face and they have an underline at the end of the letters, which is really difficult to read. This font is Times New Roman, Courier or Ditot. You can use bold letters if you want to highlight something. But remember, whenever you are highlighting or you are using bold, you should always change the font size and change the font as well. Avoid writing in all capital letters because it is really too difficult for the audience to read it. Then coming to the font size, as sir has already described, your font size should always be kept 18 font and above for all the audience to be able to read it. For referencing, size 14 can be used. Now coming to the color of the font. Dark color letters against light background works. Even light letters against dark background works. Some experts feel that dark blue or black background are best for talks in large rooms. And dark letters against light background are best for small rooms and for teaching. Then coming to the color of the font. Avoid using red-green color. Why? Because a large number of our population is red-green blind, and even if they are able to read it, it really hurts your eyes. Other combinations can be equally bad. So to avoid this situation, you should always see your presentation in the grayscale to know that your slides are in adequate contrast and readable to the audience. How to lay out the slides. Every slide should have a heading. If it is possible to make sentences, then make proper sentences. But limit the text block in each to not more than 2 lines. Why? Because if you're going to make out large paragraphs, the audience would be forced on reading it, and this will preclude them from listening to what you're saying. And the more they lose your attention, your presentation suffers. Now coming how to style your presentation. Be generous with empty spaces and limit the number of items in each slide. Each slide should make just 1 or 2 points. Try to include a simple image in a slide. Don't try to show too many slides. Often less is more. At the end, I will conclude my presentation on how to give a beautiful presentation. At the conclusion, you should talk a little bit about all the key points you have covered, and end with the most specific conclusion. Like Sir has already said, you should end with a take-home message. Thank you so much.